Good morning and welcome to China Forum. I'm Corinne Milliken, and today we will be joined again by Professor Qi Wang, Adjunct Professor at Georgetown University and President and Co-Chair of the United States China Policy Foundation. April 29th marked the 100th day of Obama's presidency. We would like to take this opportunity to reflect upon the China policy being shaped by Obama and his advisors. In a recent article for Foreign Affairs, Elizabeth Economy and her co-author argue that President Obama and his foreign policy advisors are shaping a new line on China that calls for more cooperation on more issues more often. Professor Wang, how do you see this more cooperation being shaped into practice? Do you think Obama will follow the same track and tone of China policy he inherited from President Bush, or will he attempt to shape China policy to fit his priorities?
Well, I think that since President Obama took office on January 20th, even before that, he has been talking about he want to develop a good relationship with China, and finally, after almost 4 months, that he nominated a new ambassador to China, the Governor John Huntsman. When he nominated Governor Huntsman, this is a very high-powered nomination. It's not just a career or ordinary American China expert. And I'm sure that Obama himself is not an expert on China. He has to depend on Governor Huntsman. I think he is a sort of expert on China. He speaks Mandarin Chinese, and also he been in China many times. And I think that during the next 4 years, Obama, in addition to deal with financial crisis, the China policy that he's going to formulate involving like the new pretty important agenda was climate change, energy issues, and of course human rights. These are the things that during Bush administration, Bush was occupied most of the time by the Iraq War and the Middle East problems. And Bush tried to engage China, very successful, but he didn't have too much time or effort put into the energy and human rights and religious freedom. And this is probably Obama would like to, his new ambassador, to take care of some of the new challenges in addition to economic cooperation.
Yes, climate change has been a major issue for President Obama. It was a major campaign point for him and something that he's made a priority in addition to, of course, the economic crisis.
Exactly, yeah.
And Obama is actually going to be visiting China in November. We expect him to go in November. And as such, do you have any suggestions or advice for either the Americans or the Chinese in preparation for this trip? And do you have any specific hopes, any policy developments that you would like to see come from this trip?
Well, I'm not in a position to give advice, Corinne, but I like to give my some thoughts about how the new President Obama, what he can achieve during his planned trip to China in November. This was probably decided in April during the G20 meeting in London. Let's going back a little bit early. As soon as Obama elected as President of the United States, the Chinese leaders already tried to reach out to him. President Hu Jintao make phone calls to congratulating him for his to be elected the President of the United States. That means followed by other Chinese leaders, like called Secretary Treasurer Tim Geithner, try to reach out to all the American leaders in the new administration. That means Chinese leaders want to continue a stable, normal, and better relation with the United States, because that's the most important agenda for the Chinese leader. Not only important for American administration, also important for Chinese. Chinese very treasure the relationship between the United States than any other country. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but this is reality. In the Western world, many Western leaders already mentioned that whenever President Hu Jintao make remark, speech, and other countries listen, because this is affect international community. When President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and going to China in November, I think that he probably wanted to express his serious interest to work with China as a partner to develop a new relationship. If not continue Bush's China policy, pretty much he cannot change the course too much. He can add new agendas, new interests, what he wants, like I said earlier, climate change and energy issues, and probably even human rights. Chinese, I think Chinese so far, they are very happy that with the new president, because President Obama is very, very courteous, very friendly towards China. He has not made any kind of a hostile comment about China yet. And,
he hasn't had the same gaffe that Bush had, for example, on Good Morning America.
Yeah, right. So I think he will be very, very successful during his trip, I'm sure, because he has a good Secretary of State.
Yes, speaking of which, her inaugural trip was actually to Asia, where she spent several days in China. The end of her trip was concluded in China. Before she went, she spoke at the Asia Society in New York, downplayed concerns that one might have about the, quote, threat posed by China's rise, and chose to emphasize the mutual cooperation between the two countries. However, she did criticize or speak to religious freedom and human rights in China. Since then, her initial criticisms have been muted and haven't really come up. But before being Secretary of State, she was a vocal critic of China's human rights and also alleged currency manipulation. How do you see her as Secretary of State balancing previous criticisms with the increasingly symbiotic nature of the U.S.-China relationship?
When President Obama picked Senator Hillary Clinton to be the next Secretary of State, I talked to myself, I said, this is the most remarkable, good pick for a Secretary of State. Not only she's qualified, she is a friend of many head of states throughout the world.
She does have
in
previous
every continent,
relationships.
she has friends. You cannot find a better diplomat than Ms.
A former
Clinton,
First Lady.
Former First Lady, and particularly with China. Mrs. Clinton is very popular among the young Chinese, middle-aged Chinese. Everybody in China likes her, because everybody like her, not only like her as a politician, like her as an individual. She also promotes women's activities. And the Chinese women just crazy about Hillary Clinton. They just think this lady is the best Secretary of State can appoint. And I think she will continue to have a respect for Chinese leaders and Chinese people, and very popular. And I think that she will develop a good relation with China. And of course, there are a lot of things that has to be worked out. Religious freedom, like you mentioned in China, human rights. And these are the two subjects been concerned by Americans for the past maybe 60 years. So this will be continue to be concerned by American population, American religious groups, and U.S. Congress. And this is the two important things: religious freedom and human rights.